What is going on, guys? I am Consumer Tech Review, and today I'm going to be doing a review of the SmartDuck XS84. I'm going to flash back to the unboxing when I got this thing, and then flash back to today and give you the pros and the cons and my own real life experience that I've had with this keyboard. And if at any point during the video you guys want to check out this exact same keyboard, I'll have Amazon links below for the US, UK, and Canada. But let's get to the unboxing. If you guys do want to go skip it, here's the timestamp to skip it right now. All right, guys, unboxing the XS84 SmartDuck. This thing doesn't look too promising, I'm gonna be honest with you, but I am willing to let this thing blow me away. Let's get it open. The packaging is not bad, it's not the best, but what we really care about is the keyboard itself, and it looks like not quite a 60%, not quite a TKL, somewhere in the middle. Not a bad form factor. Pretty tall. It's almost like if you took a 60% and made it quite a bit taller and just a little bit longer, but not quite a TKL. Now I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, it honestly doesn't feel bad. And ding, 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 we have a detachable cable, which is awesome. So these look like the lighting modes, which is really cool. They print that on there. I kind of like the yellow. You get a keycap puller, a switch puller, and a USB-C cable that's braided. Okay, I actually might start being blown away. I don't know how much this is, but I don't think it's an expensive keyboard. Nice generic braided USB-C cable, but that can be upgraded. You get a pretty nice switch puller, and you get a nice keycap puller. Let's get to the keyboard. Now I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, it feels heavy. However, this is all plastic, and you can it definitely flexes a little bit. The bottom's plastic, the top's plastic. It feels like there's metal in it, maybe, but I'm not sure. I do like that it's all white down there. However, I'm definitely gonna knock it for the PBT, but not a big deal if you are getting all that other stuff, because it might even be hot swappable. It does have risers, which I like, but if this thing is hot swappable, I could forgive the whole doing ABS plastic. But let's do a sound test. Okay, so it's not the best sounding keyboard. However, let's get one of these keycaps off and see what kind of switches they are. Okay, and as I thought, these are actually Outemu switches, which is better than them actually creating their own switch themselves. However, you're probably going to be stuck with only hot swapping them with Outemu switches. The craziest thing to me is the form factor. I mean, this is almost like taking a 60% keyboard, giving you the arrow keys, squishing the little shift right there, doing some page up, page downs, and then giving you FN keys. This is such a strange looking keyboard, but I'm gonna use this for a while and see how this actually is, and see if this might be worth it, because honestly right now, I have no idea how much this costs. So take it away, future Consumer Tech Review. All right, let's jump into the very first pro. Now that is going to be the form factor. 100% that is the form factor. That's the coolest thing about this keyboard. That's why this thing is unique and special. So this is a TKL. Yes, it is a full TKL, but it is in the size of not a TKL. Is it a 60%? Not quite. It is in the middle between a 60% and a normal TKL, which is very, very cool. It's definitely smaller than a TKL. If this is a 60% and this is a TKL, instead of being right in the middle, it's kind of a little bit more towards the 60%. So you are saving a pretty good amount of space. Now this is good if you don't want to take up a lot of space on your desk, but you still want all of the arrow keys, you still want all of the FN keys, you still want all of those kinds of keys, but you'd want it in a smaller form factor. This is great for that. And as well, it's also great for traveling with it, because you're getting full usability of a TKL, but you'll be able to put it in your bag just a little bit easier. Then the next thing is you get a detachable USB-C cable. There is kind of a thing with that, but we'll talk about that when we get to the cons. Now let's talk about switches. This thing is using Outemu switches, which is good, and it's actually really good for this price point. That's pretty much what you want in this price point. However, this is actually a bigger pro. Inside of this, you can actually get this keyboard from Amazon, the link below, either in blue switches, red switches, brown switches, or black switches, and all of the prices are the same. They're all Outemu, and you can get them all in that. And that also moves me into the next pro, which is you can get it in black or white with any of those. So there are 8 total configurations of switches and different colors. So you get it in white or black, which is pretty sick. I kind of wish this one was white instead of black. I probably would have preferred that because it's a quirky keyboard, so having it in white is just a little bit more different, and I kind of would have liked that.
a little bit more. Now the next pro is it does have per key lighting for the RGB. Now this is really good, obviously fully customizable on the actual keyboard itself without having to download a software, although you can download a software, but you can change it all on the keyboard itself. Now it's not the brightest RGB in the world, but it fits in the price point of similar other keyboards, although it is very consistent light and it's good. And most of you guys, if you're looking at a keyboard in this price range, the RGB is going to be perfectly fine for you. I'm just spoiled with these very expensive keyboards. Now let's talk about another pro. It has different slots for the actual USB-C cable to come out of. So the actual USB-C that you're going to plug it into, the port, is actually recessed inside below the keyboard, which is pretty cool. However, you get to choose whether it comes out of a line to the left, the right, or the middle. So for your cable management, that's going to help clean it up just a little bit. However, this is kind of a pro and a con. Because it is recessed in it, it's going to be harder to put some cables in and out of it because the cable length for getting it out of the keyboard is just with the width of the cable that they sent to you with the keyboard. It's getting confusing, but essentially if you have a big thick cable, it's going to be harder to make it force out of that hole. Now let's get to the last pro, which is actually saved for the last because it's a con and a pro in the same thing. This is hot swappable. However, it's only hot swappable with, I think, the 12 or 14 most used keys. So is it really hot swappable? No, and it's kind of weird. However, if you did only want to switch like the W, A, S, and D to like red switches and then the rest of the keyboard is blue, you could do that. I think it's weird and I don't like it. However, you do get hot swappable kind of with some parts of it, where in this price range, most keyboards are not going to be hot swappable. So you give some and you take some away. So that's a pro and a con. Since we're in the cons, let's continue with them. Now another con, and I don't know that that's just mine or it's something that is just, I don't know. I don't really know the reason. However, only the USB-C cable that came with this cable is working for this keyboard. So I had the Asceni USB-C cables plugged into this and it would not work, and it said it could not find it. And then I plugged in just an average normal USB-C cable and that also did not work. I've only tried 2 cables and then I tried their cable that they sent and it worked, and not really sure why that's happening, but that is something to consider. It might just be my unit, I don't know. However, the next con is it has ABS keycaps, which is a bummer. However, the big thing with this keyboard is the form factor. There's not a whole lot of keyboards that have this form factor, especially in this price range. So if you want something quirky in this price range that's going to set you apart from the crowd, has a lot of usability and fits on your desk, this is kind of what that's for. And the last con is I just don't like the bezel of it. I think the keyboard itself is a really cool form factor, but I wish that bezel on the outside was a little bit smaller, and it is plastic. The bezel is plastic, so that's a con. However, guys, if you are looking for a TKL that is in a very small form factor and looks pretty epic and it's very different from any other keyboard, this is definitely the one for you. You can get it in a lot of different types of switches, whether that be red, black, anything. As well, you can get it in white or black. So if you guys are looking for a keyboard that is kind of like a 60% but has the usability of a TKL, this is the keyboard for you, and it's not breaking the bank at around $40, $42. Remember, if you do want to go check it out, there is Amazon links below for the US, UK, and Canada. And if you enjoy gaming tech reviews and tech reviews in general, I do a ton of those, so please consider subscribing. We are trying to get to 100,000 subscribers before June 2021. Again, guys, thank you for 25,000 subs. It's still crazy. I still can't believe it. This was Consumer Tech Review. Look at my last video somewhere here. And I'll see you guys later. I really messed up that intro, but this was Consumer Tech Review. See you guys later.